What's up, everybody? I'm Jed.
I am Josiah.
And this week, we're wasting our talent with
Booker Walton from Mountaineer Technology Consultants.
Justin Robinson.
And Andrew King.
Cool. So, start us off. What do you guys provide? What services? This company?
So Mountaineer Tech, we basically do total tech services, anything from computer repair, network setup, and then our other side of the business is basically web design, software development, some digital marketing, social media, things of that nature, basically.
We get a little bit deeper than that, too. I mean, one of the things Andrew likes to say a lot is if it has power, we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
So, I mean, we get into surveillance cameras. Heck, I mean, there's one time we fixed what would you call that, a roasting machine?
It's a coffee roasting machine.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it has power, if it has some sort of technical motherboard to it, we're going to take a look at it in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. So, you guys do back-end work as well as front-end?
Yeah, for like software development, we do web design, full stack on that. But then I also have a software design, software development background where I do full stack on that from back end of the database, the server setup, to, setting up a custom web app with a front end interface for it for front facing customers. So,
okay. Do you guys do you service mostly local? Do you travel for work?
So basically, I mean, we spread out pretty far. We go over into eastern Ohio, up into Pennsylvania. We've got clients in Pittsburgh, some out as far as Davis, West Virginia, down to Charleston. We're pretty spread out through Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia.
Some of our remote work takes us into places like Michigan. I mean, our farthest client out west would be in South Dakota. That's because he used to be in Morgantown. But when he moved, he didn't want anybody out there looking at his stuff. So, but we have a couple clients. I don't really want to go into names or anything like that,
Sure.
but they're spread out amongst different states and stuff, and we do most all that work remotely. So.
Now, what kind of what are you guys certified to work on? So, like, can you guys do healthcare? Can you do
We do
legal?
some healthcare. You're absolutely right, Jet. We do healthcare. We have a couple doctors' offices we take care of. There's one really weird one, but there's a vein clinic. A vein clinic in Morgantown that we've done some IT on and things of that nature. We certainly can take care of HIPAA compliances for doctors' offices. But as far as our niche, what we get into, really it's that small to medium-sized office, anywhere from having 2 to 20 employees. That's really where we work really well. We do work with home users as well. It just really depends, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be an office space. It just varies.
As far as for businesses,
Yeah.
we try to fill the gap for businesses who aren't quite big enough to have their own full-time IT staff, but still have that sort of full-time IT needs.
So you guys provide 24/7 coverage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're there. We can do things remotely, come on to site, things like that. And basically, we consider ourselves to be the full-time IT employees without the benefits.
I mean, it's funny if you think about the fact, like, you take a restaurant, for example, you don't think of a restaurant of having, like, a full server, surveillance cameras, computers, things, iPads, et cetera. They have all those things.
Yeah.
And then when you can factor in the fact that you have Justin over here who can do a website, who can take care of their social media, their digital marketing and stuff, we can provide that total service. Another thing that seems a little bit out of the ordinary, but when you think about it, like, yeah, they have to have a ton. We do work for about 14 different hotels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, where we take care of basically everything from their infrastructure, their phone systems, the cameras, the computers, the business center computers for the guests, the networking. That's basically all us all the time. So there's not anything we say no to. It's kind of funny. We laugh about something we say to ourselves is like, we don't like to say no too often. If we don't know it, we'll just figure it out. And that's just being honest, God truth.
Yeah, I mean, I work in IT as well, and I think that the market has definitely changed because most places, the minimum requirements anymore are big enough that most places don't want to pay into it to set it up themselves. Mm-hmm. So they come to people like you guys to basically manage it for them because it takes more of the load off of themselves. And you have to be so flexible anymore.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to be able to do anything at any time. And I joke about it all the time at work. I think that one of the key features of being good in IT is knowing how to Google.
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's 90% of the job is knowing how to use Google better than the client.
And that's really it. That's really it. At the end of the day, they just want their stuff fixed. Mm-hmm. Half the time, we like to consider ourselves an educational company. Like, we want to educate our customers on their technology so that they're getting the most efficient use out of it. But I'd be lying to you if I said that 75% of the time they don't care. They just want it to work.
They just want it done.
And
they have an end goal they want completed.
And I think the thing, you said you work in IT. The thing about what we do, I'd say we triage. Literally every day, when you have so many clients, I would say we probably have at this point in our client base probably about 125 to 135 unique clients. You have to triage on a day-to-day basis. All right, you have to decide what's the most important thing that's going on right now. Now, our clients are really good about that. They understand that, they can't be the most important thing unless they have an absolute down. We might have to work on this, we might have to work on that. But I think that's one of the best things we do as a company is we figure out who needs what now, and we set those expectations. We have service level agreements with almost all of our clients. And you've heard of operating level agreements and stuff. We have service level agreements. But they understand that if it's a serious need, we're going to address that first. Perfect example, I was supposed to go to, I forget where, but it was a hotel up in PA somewhere or whatever, and we had a call come in from a new client who it was going to take them, they had another IT company. It was going to take them 2 to 3 days to get out there and fix their problem. Their business need, they take credit cards. They needed that right now. So we were able to stop what we were doing. I was able to take one of our employees out there with me, and we were able to reverse engineer that to figure out what happened to their switch, what happened to their sonic firewall. Fortunately, they had something else on site. Otherwise, it would have been a couple days down. But they had something else on site we could use, and we were able to get them back up. And right there, we just gained the customer where they said, we're getting ready to build a new facility. We're going to have you guys come in and do it just because we saved them right then and there. So we're able to give that sort of triage service as long as we're around, and especially with remote support now, you're never that far away.
Right.
You're never that far.
And if we're able to get into, one of our larger clients, we've basically built their network and their infrastructure from the ground level up. And, what we've noticed among the three of us is that client in particular, even though they're one of our largest customers, they don't have to call us that much. And that's one of the things whenever you work in the field with us. If you're doing your job right, you're doing things proactively, the client's not going to notice that you're doing anything at all because they're not having problems.
Sure.
So,
and there's a lot of convincing to that, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that the client doesn't truly understand, but they just know when they come in and they work from the day-to-day basis.
Yeah, if something's broken.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's working the way they need it to. Well, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of nights where, you're sitting there doing updates or fixing little things in the background and things of that nature that they don't really see, but getting them to understand that is huge.
You're like the offensive line of the business where you only notice if there's holding on the
you only notice if something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then like with Justin, he does his websites, digital marketing, SEO, and things like that. And one of the coolest things that happened in that area was, we did some marketing for this restaurant out in Davis, and they literally called us one day and said, please stop, we're getting too much, we're selling out of food. And so it's just pretty cool to be able to see what we're doing for them is helping to grow their business in some way.
So do you work with a lot of local businesses, just like smaller things, or do you work with a lot of bigger corporations as well?
For my side, with a lot of local businesses, so we'll go back to that restaurant. The guy out in Davis, West Virginia, he owns a couple restaurants. And, like Andrew said, we just, and we educated him on what we did and stuff like that. We're like, all right, we got your websites ready and all this stuff. And then we're like, all right, now we're going to push people to them. And we did a little Facebook ad campaign. And I was like, these are all the messages you got because of this. And so very happy. And that's something we do like to do, that we differentiate ourselves from other IT companies, is that whenever we do work, we explain it to them. Like this, like Booker said, like we try to fill them in on everything, even if they don't care. And like Andrew said, he's just so busy. He's like, stop. Like I don't care what you're doing. It's great, but it's too much. So which is good for me. So
one of the things locally, I know if someone starts a business, they're normally an expert on whatever they're starting that business geared towards. And technology is now a necessity when you're trying to start a business. And a lot of people don't, like, they might know everything about a restaurant or, I don't know, coffee or pottery or whatever they're doing, but they need the backbone that you guys provide.
Absolutely.
What I think you mentioned, convincing people, like that, is that a tough aspect of the job, is convincing people that, because I know in the past, just doing side work, I've ran into a lot of issues where, a business, a person approaches you with what they want, and when you show them what it's going to take to get there, they're just blown away by that.
Well, But that's why I joined Booker. And we go back to that. I joined Booker because a lot of IT people are just not very sociable.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know that because we're all IT people here. But I joined Booker because he is a good people person. And that's what it takes to take them to the next level. You're almost building that relationship. And that's what he does best. I always tell him all the time, I'm like, I never want you working on anything. I just want you
Just talking.
He don't want me to do anything I like. He just wants me to talk to people all
Yeah,
the
just
time.
talk. So
No, I mean, and Justin's right. We do things in a little bit different way. We really only compare ourselves to other IT companies in Morgantown. I'm not going to grace this broadcast with their name, but that's how we compare ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And the way we do things differently is we have a very personable approach. Like, we want to know about your family. We want to know about the dog. I want to know about the kids. I want to know what's going on in your life. So when I can come in, I'm going to talk to you about people things first before we ever talk about tech, because we want to build that rapport, right?
Absolutely.
I want to build that relationship with those particular people. So when it comes time to talk money, when it comes time to talk about what it's going to take to get the job done or what have you, we already have that trust. We've built that trust where I can just call them up on the phone. There's a blessing and a curse to that sometimes, right? Because I don't ever want to get too big to where I can't put my personal touch. Somebody feels they can't call me. They've got to go through this, and that to get to me. I don't ever want to do that. But at the same time, people love the fact that we don't try and talk over them. I'm not trying to talk about firewalls and advanced security and all that stuff. It's like, here's what you basically need to do. We'll fill in the details later, but here's what you need to know about what we need to do. Then if they want to talk about that, great. Most of the time they don't. Just like I said, they don't care. They say stop, that's fine. But they trust us to do that. And that's how you build those relationships. And I think that's the biggest difference, that what makes us stand out from our competition as far as a company is concerned.
And then as far as, like you said, with local businesses and getting started, they don't know the tech, they know their industry. One of the things that is sort of hard to convince to people is that you can do things two ways whenever it comes to the tech with your business. You can do it in patchwork and handle things whenever they go wrong, and then you end up with the Frankenstein of a network or a website or something like that. Or you can do it the right way, start from the ground level, and let us help you build that up so that it's going to work efficiently and you're not going to have the problems in the future.
And you've not worked in this business unless you've seen disasters where people have called you in and you see networking closets that look like they came straight out of a horror scene. And you have to try and figure out where everything's gone. And that's just part of it. But once we get in there and we're able to take a look at things and stuff, we try and provide that confidence to the customer that it's going to be okay. But you see that stuff on a day-to-day basis. And that's okay. It's just like Andrew said. Some people are going to spend the money. Some people are going to say they're going to have a friend that can do it or what have you.
Yep.
Well, guess what happens when you have your friend do it and then that friend decides to go? They don't have any skin in the game.
Yeah.
You know, we do this thing called Tech Tip Tuesdays. Shameless plug. We do this thing called
That's what you're here for.
Tech Tip Tuesdays on our Facebook page. And the next one I'm going to do for this week is simply about the fact, why have an IT company come in and do your work instead of a friend? Well, if you have your friend, is that friend insured if your stuff goes to pot? I mean, we don't have this happen often, but we recently had a computer die in our hands. Whether or not it's our fault, doesn't matter. At least we were able to cover it because we're responsible, we're ethical in the way we do business and stuff. If you have a friend do it or a friend of a friend or somebody like that and they disappear off the face of the earth, you're going to end up calling us anyways. Then you're going to pay more for us to fix the problem they did in the first place instead of just going with the people that were going to handle it the right way the first time. Or if there was a problem, make sure they take care of it ethically in the way it should have been in the first place.
Yeah, and that was why I asked about compliance earlier. Is I know just from the little bit of local work that I've done, there are so many places out there not operating to compliance levels.
Yeah.
And they don't think about it because they haven't been hit yet.
That's exactly it.
So, they haven't been breached. They haven't had anything lost. They haven't had to go to court over anything. But, man, like if you're a doctor's office not meeting HIPAA compliance.
Oh, man.
Let me give you an even simpler one. What if you're and we do this, what if you're a convenience store not meeting credit card compliance and making sure your credit cards are secure? And you start getting hit with that $1,500 fine every month from the PCI compliance. Yeah, that's another thing that we actually do is we go in and make sure that you separate your network for your credit cards away from the network from your computers and things that could hack into that particular network. So, like you said, there's one way to do it or there's the other. Do you want to do it right the first time or do you want to pay for it so that you have to do it right the second time and it costs a little bit more? There's no question.
Yeah.
No
And
question.
compliance is something that I don't even know about. I'm the resident non-IT guy in the room right now. So
Sometimes
that's something
it's
that
better that
would
way,
have never even popped in my head. Oh, if I'm doing this business, I need to meet certain standards and guidelines, or I could get, you said a $1,500 fine?
Oh, that was for those credit cards,
Well,
but yes,
geez.
monthly.
And I mean, you got to think too, like, let's say it's what if somebody swipes a credit card on your system and it gets breached,
compromised.
and then, I mean, they could take you to court.
Yikes.
If you're not meeting compliance.
I mean, you can lose your business.
Yeah,
if you're
you
a
could-
doctor's office
yeah.
and you're breaking HIPAA compliance, I mean, somebody comes after you and you're just done. Your
I'll
loss
get-
is bigger than just a $1,500 fine.
Yeah, I'll give you a silly example. It was a hotel. This has been a long time ago, but they had a keylogger sitting on one of their front desk systems. And so you're swiping those, and you know how those swipes work on those. It's just putting those numbers in on your system, but it's still, think about it, it's a keylogger.
And so for
Everything's
people
up. Yes.
people listening, keyloggers basically just log keystrokes. So
And when they swipe that card, it's nothing but numbers coming
Yep.
in. But numbers, expiration dates, 3-digit codes. Yeah, it was a problem.
yeah. So what are your guys' backgrounds? Like, how long have you been doing this? What got you started in it?
Oh, you guys want me to go first?
You're the oldest, and it's only right.
I am the oldest here. They remind me of that daily. In any case, though, I guess I started, honestly, when I was 6. My dad brought home an old IBM PS2, and I learned my first programming language back then, Basic A. Or Basica. It's Basic A or Basica. That's too old for him. See, that's the thing. That pretty much Justin's like, I don't even know, and he's our resident programmer here.
Stone tablet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I learned. I was hooked at that point. I always knew I wanted to work in computers. Came out of school. I'm actually 10 hours short of my degree. I'm not afraid to say that at all.
Nice.
I feel like this is one of those fields you either know it or you don't.
Yep.
And it's constantly evolving, constantly learning. You constantly got to be on top of it. But I then worked for the state for 12 and a half years, all the way from just a network operator to a senior operations manager, all the way to being the data center operations manager. But I always had an eye on leaving. And every time I tried to say I was leaving, they would give me a raise. But finally, I talked
usually how it works.
Yeah. Finally, I talked to Justin, and Justin came in about 5 years before we left. He came in the WVNet, and we were both sort of, I'd just say disillusioned. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we're both sort of disillusioned with the direction of where everything was going over there, and we sort of concocted a plan to get ourselves out of there within a couple years. We survived it. I think that would be the best way to put it, but we got to the end game of it. And that was basically the formation of Mountaineer Technology Consultants. Andrew, and I'll let him speak about himself here in a second. Andrew's been with me for, 6 or 7 years now?
Yeah, about, I think 6.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years now. He just graduated college, but I had another business before I had this one, Unique Tech Consulting, which I was doing on the side. I would take days off from the state just to go work on my business. And so he was traveling around with me. We had somebody else with us at the time that just didn't make it, thank God. That's why we found Justin. Very happy about that. Just being real about it. No names mentioned. But in any case, though, we found Justin. And I mean, Justin adds the piece. I'm going to let him talk about himself in a second. But Justin adds the piece to the business that really makes us go. There's a lot of people that do what the two of us do. Andrew and I should say that since we're on radio, but can do the IT part, surveillance cameras, all those things. There's a lot of people that can do that. Can they do it right? Different story, but there's a lot of people that say they can do it. There's not a lot of people that can program like Justin can. And when I can go in and I can say, hey, do you want a custom piece of software built? You're not finding what you want out on the market? Have him build it. And he's already done it. We have a meeting coming up here in a couple days up in Ohio where we're going to be talking about possibly building some software for some hotels up there. So, I mean, he adds that extra piece. Certainly he can do websites and stuff, but that's the piece that you're not going to find in another company around here locally.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, so like kind of finish off that point, like we wanted to separate ourselves by being a full stack IT development place. Like a lot of places you can just go get your computer repaired and stuff like that, but we want someone to come in and be like, I need it all, and we can do that. But I met Booker 5 years ago. We worked at WVNet.
More like 7 years ago now, man.
Oh, yeah, geez, yeah.
It's like, I know.
Okay, yeah, it was 7 years ago. But we worked together for 5 years at the state. Graduated WVU with computer engineering degree, but I'm with Booker. That piece of paper means nothing. It's worthless. Everything I learned from there on after has given me everything I needed to do this. But I'd say I started liking, technology and stuff like that just when I was growing up. We had Windows DOS computer. I'd have to wait till my dad came home, and I'd be like, "Dad, put that big floppy disk in there so we can play Frogger." and I'd be like, "How'd you get?" And I wrote it down. I wrote down D:/, program .exe, and that's how you would start Frogger. And that's where I was just like, "Oh, this is interesting. Like, you can get anywhere on this computer and stuff like that." And it just evolved into my love of video games and and then just all kinds of tech. And when I went to school, I listened to my dad about on everything. And he's just like, you either need to go into medical or tech. He's like, they're never going to go away.
Yep.
So that's why I chose programming. Ended up loving it, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, went to work for the state, met Booker. Just a couple years in, we were just like, this sucks. Just to be candid about it.
That's the real deal.
And, we just wanted to do something different. We wanted to do something on our own. I was tired of having people control my destiny. We thought the leadership at the top was just not steering the ship right, so we decided to get our own ship.
It never does.
No, it never does.
Ever.
So if it doesn't now, it's our fault.
Exactly.
So, and I can live with that. But that's how I joined these two guys.
Yeah, and so my background in technology started because technology is cool as crap. From a very young age, and I mean I'm a little younger than these guys, and so I've grown up. I've grown up with technology all around me, and so I wanted to be able to sort of do what I wanted, make it do what I wanted it to do. And so I wanted to learn how to fix my own stuff first. And so I started fixing my stuff. And I've known Booker just since I, was playing basketball at 7 years old, back when he still had hair. And, so then I've grown up with him.
I'm surprised Daniel doesn't bust through that wall. Joke right
now. Kool-Aid Man Daniel. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. And so growing up around him, I saw what he was doing. He had his side gig going on, and then I started helping him when I was 15 or 16, and I've just sort of grown from there. And I joined these guys as a partner because I have a pretty non-conforming personality, and so I like to do what I want to do. And you don't get to do that if you're working for somebody else. So
yeah.
So it sounds like it started out as basically kind of a hobby, just something you all have a lot of fun doing by yourselves. When did you get to the point where you're like, hey, I could probably make money doing this? And then
for me, it was when Booker said, "Hey, do you want to make some money? Help me." I said, "I guess so."
I can't speak for Justin, but for me, I knew I was going to go work on my own at some point. Even being there 12 and a half years, it's a catch-22, right? Because I literally did try and leave several times. There's one particular time that I put the business license on my desk and walked out after something ridiculous had happened. And they basically talked me back and got a raise from the governor's office 3 days later. So they talked me back into it. But at the end of the day, I knew that I needed to get out on my own. And it's really as simple as this. And I'm going to say this as nicely as I possibly can. You guys can see my face. Nicely. There's a lot of bureaucracy and there's a lot of red tape that goes into working for the state that if you are not willing to play the game and work through will stick you cold. There were many times that stuff that people had done at WVNet got taken credit for by people up top who really had no idea what was going on. And I didn't like that. And I could only stick that around for so long. So there were certain events that happened to me that were saying, that's enough. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people there that I respect, but there was no way that I could stay there under that, let's just call it regime.
Umbrella.
Yeah, that umbrella and that, I don't even know what the right word is, but there's no way I could stay there to be able to do the things that I wanted to do. So to be able to talk to Justin and talk him into leaving with me, which was hard. That was really hard for him to take that leap of faith when I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy that's just saying, hey, if you come with me, I will make sure that you make money and that you can support your family and do these things. Andrew was just a kid. So he's like, I get to make money during college. But now he's looking at this as this can be a possible career. That's why he's one of our partners, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So to be able to control our own destiny, to be able to decide how we want to help people without somebody saying no or getting in the way of it was huge for me. And I think we do that on a day-to-day basis. And I can sleep at night. I can look in the mirror. There was nights I couldn't. He would say the exact same thing. There was nights that I couldn't go home and look at the mirror and be happy with what was going on. And I had no control over it. And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
See, and to me, I think that's a big selling point for small business IT because, I was in the military. I didn't do IT in the military, but I was in the military and I've done IT for the government. And most of the time, the people who are making decisions are not informed and educated on what they're making decisions on.
I can't agree with you more.
What's nice about working with small businesses is like, you three are shareholders in the company.
Your names are on the business.
And you're technically sound.
Yeah.
You can speak to what is happening day to day, customer to customer. It's not, you're pitching an idea and selling something. No, you understand the gears that are moving that are providing a solution to somebody.
We're all working towards a common goal, too.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying to you if all the three of us agreed. All right, Justin's on way one side, I'm way on the other.
And you never want it
Andrew's
like
right
that.
in the middle. You know what I mean? So we're able to work together to figure out the common solution for the things, and we figure things out that way. And it works really, really well. I can't do I make the money I used to make right now? No, I don't. Am I a lot happier? Yeah. Absolutely, I am. I think the three of us would all say the same thing.
God, I feel that.
Happiness, man. Happiness is, you can't put a price tag on it. You can't put a price tag on it.
No, but back to your point about you saying taking a leap of faith. I mean, I think it would have been taking a leap of faith to stay with them in charge. So whenever Booker gave me this opportunity, I tell him this all the time. I would never join anybody else. It was just him that I would join. If they were throwing money at me, it would have made it a lot harder, but they weren't throwing money at me, so it must have been
They're
hard.
like, you want to leave? And I go,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Booker saved my tail a few times, so I spoke my mind a little too much, but that's okay,
You just get tired of playing the game.
But learned a lot while we were there and everything, and I think that's what. And then we just decided whenever we left there, we wanted to do this. And our drive to be good at what we do and help people, I think that separates us even more because we have a distinct background of, we served people before for people, now we're serving people for ourselves, and we all enjoy it. I mean, I wake up every day and I don't dread going to work. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but at the same time, it's just like, all right, I'm going to go in and do this, check these boxes off, and then I'm going to come home happy, so.
And there's a lot of value in seeing things done wrong for years.
Yes.
Because you can figure out, how not to do it.
Yes.
Did you have that thought in your mind,
we talk about
when
that
you
now.
were waiting?
We talk about that now,
yeah.
even with our employees and stuff. We talk about that, how to deal with employees, how to treat employees with respect, trying to be as honest with them as you possibly can about things. It's just not the way it went down. And I don't want to keep talking about them. It just drove us to do something different.
Yeah.
It just drove us to do something
Yeah, and I'm thankful
different.
for that in the end because here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So.
I mean, to be very honest with you, my now ex-wife at the time when we left, 3 weeks late after we left and started this full time, she got fired.
That's rough.
Yeah. Can't turn around and go back now. Not after you done hacked them all
already
off.
cashed in your chips.
The only thing you got to do is move forward.
Yeah.
But we moved forward. You know what? Somehow we found a way. And to look at where we were back on August 7th of 2017 when we started this, look where we are now. Man, it's amazing that we've moved this far this fast. It's amazing.
It's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Along the lines of learning, I feel like it's a benefit to you guys. You talk about how technology is always changing. By the time the president of whatever company you're with and puts something into motion, there's new software out, there's new technology, there's new device. By the time that rolls all the way down to being something that is relevant to the day-to-day stuff, you guys probably just walk in the office like, hey, you see the thing that was announced last night? Let's figure out how to do it. And then,
Yep.
yeah,
exactly-
so you
that's
guys are
the same way.
easier to evolve.
Getting a computer degree, by the time you learn all that in college,
It's already irrelevant.
It's obsolete.
Yeah.
So I mean, you
I
learn
mean,
in
if
the
you
field.
look at what I was learning off of Andrew back when I was in computer engineering, and I even finished senior design. I just decided that making $500 going out and working for a day was better than actually sitting in an electrical engineering class. Although I will say I still don't understand electrical engineering. That's a whole different animal. But I mean, if you look at the stuff I was working off, the motherboards and stuff that I was working off in the logic boards when I was in school back in '96 through 2000 was from 1980.
Yeah.
I don't use a thing of that.
Yeah.
I don't use a thing of it nowadays. Not at all.
See, I get people that come to me all the time, and they're like, "Hey, I want to get into IT. What should I do?" And I always tell them, like, apply. Just apply.
Yeah.
Like, worry about your certifications and your degrees and all that stuff later, because it's all worthless. It's just a piece of paper that's going to help you get a raise or maybe, get a promotion.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's funny, we don't. One of our employees, Megan, she's Cisco certified, network administrator, network security, and all that stuff. If you asked her how much of she uses that on a day-to-day basis for what we do in the office, she would tell you none.
Yeah.
She would tell you none. It's nice that she has it. If I need it, that's great.
Yeah.
But I need somebody to be able to critically think. And if school helped to teach her how to critically think and think on the fly and figure things out, that's what I want on a day-to-day
And you need somebody
basis.
who's trainable. If you've got somebody whose head is already full of everything they know from 4 years of computer science, computer engineering, or whatever, and they already know everything they need to know, then there's no training left.
Well, they think they know.
Yeah,
everything.
that they think they know, and then you can't do it the way that you can't have it done the way you want it to be done. So,
Yeah.
blank slate's always better.
And then they won't walk in the office. I can promise you that, because it's one of the first things we told Megan is we do things differently. Now, she went back to her school and told the people that they weren't right. And I was like, you can't do that.
Do that. No,
You can't do that. They're going to do things their way, but there's more than one way to get the job done, and here's how we do it here. So, and that's actually turned in. We've had a lot of success with interns. Even going back to WVNet, I had great success with interns, and now we're using interns at our office as well, through both the junior college up at West Virginia Junior College. Is that what it's literally called?
Yeah.
West Virginia Junior College. And then we have a social media intern from the comm school at WVU who does excellent work. I'd be remiss not to mention them, Megan and Jacob. And then our other employee, Malia, works with Justin on his side of the business as far as website design and software development. They do a great job. I mean, they let us get out and do what we need to do on a day-to-day basis, which is get out and find more business. So I'd be remiss if we were sitting here talking and we didn't mention those people by name.
So I have a question. If you guys had to come into work tomorrow and start a new career, you couldn't do IT anymore.
Mine's easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, mine's easy. You better ask them first. Mine's easy.
Well, then you answer first.
I
That
guess
way-
I'll answer first. I mean, he was on, excuse my language, he was on my ass about quitting officiating. I was a basketball official. I was a basketball official for 16 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to ref a couple state title games. I refed a lot of his games back in the day and things of that nature. It's something I did college for 1 year, and then my daughter was born, and I realized I didn't want to be away from home. But I'm still young enough that if something happened, if we had to shut down, I could go back to that and probably weasel my way back into the college setting. Might take a couple years. In the meantime, I'll work at a convenience store or Walmart until I get there. It'll be fine.
Who you got in the NBA Finals?
Huh?
Who you got in the NBA Finals?
In the NBA Finals, Golden State. It's not even worth talking about. I realized that Toronto won Game 1. Everybody can be excited. You got the pundits trying to talk about it's going to be a series. No. Golden State probably let them win so the NBA could have some ratings and stuff to watch tonight's game. Golden State by 20. All right. That'll be 4-1.
Bold statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So either one of two things. If I could somehow land a gig as like a play tester and just like test out video games before they release, that'd be pretty sweet.
They make a lot of money doing
They,
that now.
they,
It's
they
not-
do, yeah. If you can
Yeah.
get into that professionally.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just get to play video games.
I
all
feel
the
like
time.
that's still technology and that's cheating.
Okay. If we're not that, then I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum, and I would want to be like a park ranger or something, so I could be outside all the time.
See, that's mine.
Yeah, like I would love to just
So hard.
be out in the woods and just explore, hike all day.
DNR.
Yeah.
I've thought so hard, and you guys talking about working in government and just dreaming about not working in government. And whenever I have like an especially bad day at work, I'll pull up the pay scales for DNR officers. And I'm just like,
I cringe at that.
could I do it?
Can I just sit out in the park by myself?
It's rough.
Not be bothered.
Could I support 5 dogs with this?
Yeah, really.
I'm actually interested to hear Justin's answer about this.
Yeah, I mean, so whenever I first started getting into tech and stuff like that, I always thought I wanted to make video games. And then I just realized I like them too much, and making them would be horrible. Because, like how much time you'd have to put into making them, probably be sick of it by then. But I'm kind of with Andrew. I'm a big hunter, I'm a big fisher. If I had to choose something else, it would be somewhere where I'm out in the wild, like a DNR officer or something like that. I've just never thought about it that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just like what I do a lot. I do like hiking and fishing and all that stuff. We actually met some people that work at WVUIT, and I thought for a second, I'm like, this would be amazing. Yet again, it's IT again. But I don't have to work the football games. And there's nothing in the football games I want to work either. I just want to enjoy them,
Yeah.
So it's just a really hard concept for me to think about because I do love being out in the wild, but then someone's going to make me work during deer season. And I'm going to be like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? That was like one of the biggest perks when I started at WVNet. I was like, my first year, I was super nervous. I went to my boss. I was like, can I have off Thanksgiving to hunt? And he's just like, yeah, nobody takes that off. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're in West Virginia. I'm like, nobody here takes off to go hunting and fishing and stuff like that. He's like, no. I was like, I'm like
a bunch of technological nerds in there.
I'm like the weirdest nerd there is, you know what I mean? Because I just went on a big hike to Dolly Sods and stuff like that, and just love disconnecting and stuff like that. So that's honestly an interesting question I've never thought of. But if I had to pick one, I guess I'd be out in the wild, getting paid for it, which does actually. Man, I might check that website.
Don't. It hurts. It hurts every time I look at it.
Check the website and see if we offer to pay you anymore.
It is hilarious though. We are very diverse. Like I don't want to be outside unless there's a golf ball involved in me swinging. Like there's got to. I wouldn't run or hike or do anything unless I was dribbling a basketball or something to be involved. These guys, if I had to go camping, there better be 4 doors and some sort of satellite that's giving me internet because I have zero interest. These guys love it though. When I went to Blackwater Falls for the first time in my life.
It's
was that
gorgeous
about
out
4
there.
weeks ago?
Gorgeous.
And then my girlfriend sends a picture back to Andrew and says, hey, I got him to go. And they thought that was the funniest thing ever. So I like flipped them off in the picture.
It was beautiful out that day. It's like 85 degrees, and you see him down there at Blackwater, like bundled up with a parka and a hoodie. He's the coldest guy I've ever met.
It's cold right now.
How were the bugs?
It wasn't bad.
No?
It wasn't. I wasn't that. Don't. I didn't spend the day. I spent about 10
You got the
minutes.
picture and you were
I spent about 10 minutes. The picture was there and it was time to go.
You get there a little later in the summer, and it's usually pretty buggy.
Well, I won't go.
Yeah,
into
it
it.
was
I
actually
already
really
did it.
buggy
Yeah.
out when we were
Check.
hiking. It was
I
a
went
lot
out
of
there
fun.
for my bachelor party and went like snowboarding and stuff at Timberline, but then we went down to Blackwater and they had it closed off, like no height, no
Yeah,
nothing
closed
beyond
off.
this point.
It's totally closed. Nobody
and so
can
we're
go
like,
in there.
no, that doesn't sound right. So you go past it anyway, and then I understood why it was closed because I started walking down these stairs that. The wind had blown the snow into
Oh,
basically
yeah.
a frozen ramp and just slid all the way down.
Oh yeah.
But it was nice.
He's a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
Sort of a thrill seeker, no question. That's a good question. I never
That
really
is a good
thought
question,
about that.
yeah.
I mean, I know I'd officiate, but
I got that one thrown on me in an interview once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder what they're trying to figure out if they're asking you that in an interview.
It was an analyst position.
How committed are you to that position?
It was an analyst position, and like none of the questions were really technical. They were all like riddles and puzzles.
Yeah, I've seen
and
Google
like
does
mind
stuff like
They
questions.
ask you the peanut butter and jelly question?
No,
Oh man.
No, you've never heard of the peanut butter and jelly question?
I don't think so.
Like what way you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then they
this
have
is
you write
important.
it out. Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Well, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
put
Well, that's
jelly
the thing.
on
You don't tell them. You don't tell. Okay, what were you going to say? Tell us how you would do it.
jelly on one piece of bread, peanut butter on the other, and then you put it together.
That's
All right,
correct.
Andrew, what would you do?
Well, I would do the same thing, but my wife Bethany thinks that I'm crazy for that because she puts peanut butter on both sides and then jelly on top of that. Because she says that if you're going to transport it or store it for any amount of time, the jelly.
I don't
is going-
hate this idea.
The jelly
I'm not
is
gonna lie
going
to you.
Bad
to
idea.
soak through the bread,
Yeah.
right? Make that soggy. So if you're gonna keep it other than just eat it immediately, you want to put the peanut butter, jelly, peanut butter.
Listen, this is a game changer.
There you
I don't-
go. Try it
I don't
out, man.
actually think of it that way. If you asked me, I put jelly on both sides, and then I put the peanut butter on one side so that I can lick the knife off with the jelly and the peanut butter on it. But I'm not trying to transport it anywhere. I'm
Y'all
eating it
just
immediately.
mad, man.
I'm just saying, but no, the whole point of the question is to see how you think. Like, are you working yourself through the details?
I mean-
Are you just a simpleton and just saying, well, you just put this and you put this and it's right there? No.
How do you
See, I
feel?
like to do jelly first.
Okay.
Because it's easier to lick jelly.
That's very true.
You got
Off the knife.
licking the knife. What do you do with the knife then? You put it in the peanut butter?
my house. I put it right back in the peanut butter. Listen, if somebody comes to my house and wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you might as well kiss me.
Can you do both? Can you eat the sandwich and then kiss you for giving them a sandwich?
yeah.
Okay.
See, I was thinking even deeper. You got to start with like, do I want crunchy peanut butter? Do I want soft?
Definitely
do I
crunchy.
want
See?
Oh, crunchy.
jam?
Crunchy.
Strawberry?
Attention to detail.
Blackberry jam? Do I want just regular grape jelly? And you got to go.
I gotta tell you,
deep.
man, I wouldn't
white
hire
bread.
you at that point. You gotta think through
You're
all that when
overthinking
you
it.
actually want to get some work done. I mean, seriously.
But you're gonna get the best peanut butter jelly sandwich you've ever had.
If you can afford to buy the supplies.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, so one of the first questions that we asked when we were interviewing our employee Megan, these guys were asking very serious questions about, how would you handle this situation, this, and stuff that she'd actually be doing at work. And then I came up and I said, Megan, I got a serious question for you, and I need your answer to this. If you won the Powerball tomorrow, would you be into work on Monday? And she was like, well, yeah, absolutely. And I said, you're a liar. If I won the Powerball tomorrow, I'm not coming to work for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you'd probably be trying to climb Mount Everest.
You're
what we
dang
just
right
talked
I
about.
would.
I wouldn't do that now.
Oh, man, I would. I don't care.
I don't know if you've seen the news.
What's the news?
Everest is not a nice place to be right now.
I told
Oh,
you.
yeah, 10 people died. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care. If it's
Fair.
Dude,
climate
you
because it's there.
literally don't care that you're walking up past the bodies of all these dead people that are just
So if
frozen
you win the
on
Powerball
Use them as
and you
reference
go to
points.
Everest to hike, can I be your beneficiary?
my wife and soon-to-be daughter would probably have some,
That's fair.
something to take up with that. But
They probably have a little bit better of a claim than
give
I
you $1
do.
million. We
Yeah.
wouldn't shake on this.
Yeah, there we go.
They shook hands, people. They shook
Daniel,
hands.
you got
a
that in the
bond.
back? Daniel,
Daniel's gonna cut that and he's gonna put my name or his name in instead.
Nah, he is definitely the thrill seeker. He is definitely the just regular guy, and I don't know. You're more the curmudgeon. I'm the regular guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely
You're
a
more
curmudgeon,
the
but I'm just
curmudgeon.
like day-to-day routine person. Booker gets me out of my routine. I get pretty grumpy, so
That's
he
fair.
tries
So
to.
you're the are you the complainer?
Don't lie. You're on. This is going out there. Just
Yeah,
I know I'm
mean,
the complainer
I
in my
complain. I
office.
complain to Booker all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm always like, but I mean, I tell him directly. I'm like, dude, this sucks. Don't do this. You did good here. Do that.
I had one meltdown on the golf course before we went to play golf one day. That was pretty epic. Let's not lie.
Yeah, we had a good meltdown.
all right, let's hear the story.
but we saw. I don't even know what it was about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a long time for him melting down.
Yeah, I mean,
A year ago.
we had a meltdown on the golf course, and we solved it probably by hole 2, and we had a good time. So.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
usually how men solve things. We
Problem
just-
solving. There you go.
You just
Mountaineer
let it
Tech.
go.
You know what?
Another bullet.
But that's
Problem solving.
definitely the thing, right? Is like, we're not going to agree on everything, but we figure out how to work through it. We don't need to have committee after committee and table meeting after table meeting. We just figure it out amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of the biggest things that we went back and forth about was whether we were ready to hire somebody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And looking at the financials to figure out, is this going to help us? And
That's a
stuff.
big deal.
Yeah. And we finally, you got to think about this. Like, honestly, guys, we're not even 2 years in existence.
Yeah.
We're literally, come August, it will be 2 years, which is mind blowing to me because it seems like it's just absolutely flown by. But here, after a year, we're sitting there looking and we're like, we're probably ready to hire somebody. And we just went back and forth on it, went to our accountant, sat down with our accountant and said, is this viable? He's like, no, looks like you're ready. So we tried it. And I mean, it's worked out for the most part. I think we're okay with it or what have you. It's one of those things like you have to see beforehand that this person's going to make you more money by providing you with more time to go out and do more things.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing we needed to see. That was the biggest thing we needed to see. But that's one of the things. And you'll find that. I think that happens in every small business. You almost have to hire before the fact that you're ready because you have to have them prepared.
Yeah.
Because if you don't hire, if you wait until you absolutely have to,
And you're
then
behind.
then you send them out to your clients and stuff, and they're not prepared for all of that.
Right.
You're losing clientele because you sent somebody there who's not as good as what you would be. I mean, when they go out, they're a representation of us. So
Yeah, and then you would-
expect them to be.
Maybe even be rushed to hire someone that you didn't necessarily want. You just because you needed somebody.
That's exactly it. That's
How long did it
That'd be a
take you
good
guys to decide on
To
who you were
decide
gonna
on
hire?
something?
Yeah. Well, once you made the decision, like, hey, we're going to hire somebody.
Well, we already had. her.
She was there as an intern.
We
Oh,
had her
okay.
as an
So
intern.
it was more a decision like I'd say we talk about things for probably about a week. I mean, like
Yeah.
we haven't it like Booker will sit down, he'll look at me and be like, because I guess I do complain to him a lot and I tell him that's stupid, but he'll look at me and this is exactly what he just told me this week. He's just like, I want you to think about this. No reaction. I'll tell me what you think right now. Think. And then he spewed it out, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'll chew on it for a while, drink coffee, come back and be like, that's dumb. You know, like,
Yeah, and then
We
so,
do
so
that,
then
so-
Booker's way over here, Justin's over here, and then I'll have to say, well, Booker, you're right about this. You're wrong about that. Justin, calm down. You have a good point here. I got to disagree with you here. And then, it works well. We kind of mesh together, I guess.
yeah. But in the end, just to let it be known, that's the leader.
Oh, yeah.
Booker's the leader. In the end, if he tells me I'm stupid, I'm still going to follow him.
And it's not that I make mistakes. I mean, there are some classic mistakes that these guys have told me. There's also been things they've told me about I was wrong and I was absolutely right.
Still eating that crap.
That's all right. That's all right. You know what I mean? We have to try and look forward, and you have to take chances sometimes to be successful.
Yeah.
Standing pat gets you nowhere. All right. You're either going up or you're going down. You're rarely ever just plateauing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things is I try to be the forward facing one, the one that's always trying to look towards the future. Justin sort of looks in the moment, which is perfectly fine. You need that person. And Andrew sort of just bounces in between the two. Yeah. And that works really well for us.
Sounds like Andrew can't make up his mind. Is really
No,
what
I'm
it-
more like the three-eyed raven. I just see everything at once, and so I kind of just have to make the decision.
Man, you had to bring
So
that
you basically sit around and do nothing?
Yeah.
Well, no, he's season 1 through 6.
Yeah, I'm season 1 through 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
important.
Okay.
I
He's
have
actually
character
cool.
development at this
Yeah.
point.
Justin's about to have another golf course meltdown.
Let's not get
Yeah, we
season,
can't- we
season
can't-
7 and 8 didn't happen.
Yeah,
so,
we just can't get into that right now.
It ended.
People hate Game of Thrones season 8 that
Oh my
much.
god!
Oh, it was
bad.
terrible.
I mean,
So bad.
me and Andrew,
I can't
after
say
it
I watched
ended,
it.
we
Awful.
literally had meltdowns.
Yeah,
and
I
like
did
I'd be
too.
like, I gotta work.
I did too.
I gotta work, and then I'd sit there and start trying to be like, you know what? I'm like,
I actually
I can't believe
after
this.
the Battle of Winterfell, I had to go into work the next day late because I couldn't fall asleep because I was so irritated.
Oh my goodness! No, it was so bad. Like Justin and I, we had this. I mean, weeks.
Is
the
this Game of
entire
Thrones podcast
season.
now?
You know what it is now, and I'm mad. Season 7 at the time, it just felt like okay, this is a build-up.
It wasn't bad. It was a build up to a finale.
Retrospectively, looking at season 8, season 7 was just as bad because nothing mattered.
Yes.
And oh my god. In my mind, my headcanon is that it ended with season 6. We got the King in the North. You got Dany sailing across the narrow sea.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
That's what I did with Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter's done after season 6.
That's basically what it is. Jon Snow is now Dexter becoming a lumberjack. That's it.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was actually the finale. He sails off and becomes a lumberjack
Yes.
after season 6.
It's just so bad.
Now I do have a quick question, all right, because Andrew had seen a spoiler, and this is good podcast radio right here,
Sure.
because I never got to ask him.
Okay.
Was it what you thought it was, the spoiler for the ending?
Yeah, it was 110% correct.
That's terrible.
And it was awful. Every bit of it. I came to work and I told Justin, I was like, man, I read this spoiler and I have to tell you because it's so bad that if it's true, you're going to be disappointed anyway. You might as well prepare yourself for this. And he's like, no, there's absolutely no way that's happening. Why would Jon Snow join the Night's Watch again? There's no Night's Watch. It doesn't make any sense. Why would Bran be king? And, then it got to the point where, in the episode, Bran says, why do you think I came all this way? Justin texts me and he says, Andrew, oh my God. This is the worst thing. And so then we sit in the office and just, rewrite season 8 on how it could have been better.
I don't even think they got any work done that Monday.
No,
I mean, literally, I was in there. All they did was talk about this thing for literally.
It took a good 2 days.
Yeah, from like 9 till about 2.
Well, when you
Never
ruin
moved.
10 years of television, it kind of breaks your heart. So.
See, nobody else watches it in my office, so I would just be sitting there fuming all morning, not saying anything, and then as soon as somebody would be like, so did you watch? I'd be like, yes, you know what? Let me just tell you for a second, and then I would just go off, just waiting for somebody to ask me.
Now, this is good podcast radio.
Burn them all.
I like it. I didn't even watch it, but I could feel their anger. So I just sat in my office and let them spew.
What are you watching while they're ruining their lives with Game of Thrones?
I don't watch much of anything. It's pretty bad. I'll be
He
honest
used
with
to
you.
watch the NBA until I convinced him it's terrible.
Well, the NBA will get better next year when Durant leaves Golden State.
Whoa. I don't know if that's true.
What?
I think he's staying.
He is. There is no way he is staying.
I think he's staying too.
We have it on.
I
We
think
have it
he's staying
recorded.
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll bring this back up, but there is no, especially if they win the title.
Andrew, we need another million in here.
Yeah.
All right, so now if I win the Powerball and die, you guys can wager that million. Whoever's
Okay,
right
thank you.
gets that.
Durant is gone. Klay Thompson is Golden State's priority, and I'm telling you that first, right now. The Lakers want Klay Thompson. LeBron needs a shooter. Durant's gone. It's over with, done. Mark it up. He's going to New York.
Justin is quietly disagreeing with everything.
He's too busy on Twitter arguing with people.
When they win the title without him here in 4 more games, he's going to be worthless.
See, it's the easy way.
You guys don't want. We argue about this. Literally, at some point.
Do you guys have any
every
fantasy
week.
leagues that you just go head to head in the business?
No. One of the things we want to get into here is when FanDuel gets the NFL season in the fall. We're probably going to put a little money into FanDuel.
Okay.
It's something I like to play. But we don't have any like fantasy. Well, I mean, we have the one league.
Yeah, we have
that
fantasy football we play.
Yeah, the fantasy football.
With some old friends
love
at the old.
You got to
work
be
and stuff.
business partners and friends too. You probably don't want to ruin relationships over fantasy.
Oh, I have this huge fantasy league. I play with some boys down in Charleston and Charlotte, North Carolina and stuff. It's $100 in. They take it really seriously. That's about the only serious one to play. Other than that, I play FanDuel. Other than that, I play FanDuel, and I enjoy FanDuel a lot. But I won't play baseball season. Got to wait till football comes back.
I'm in a fantasy league with Jed, and he's the absolute worst person to be in a league with because if he beats you, he will talk trash about it. But if you beat him, he's like,
I never talk trash.
I never really check the team anyway. It's not that big a deal. It's just
I don't
a
know
game.
how. I don't know how I got this
The
reputation.
week that he wins, though, he's like, I picked that guy off the waiver wire. I knew he was going to get 27 points because he's a third string receiver.
Now I will talk trash if somebody else talks trash to me.
So
I
you're
tried
not-
to talk trash. You're like, it's not that big a deal. It's just a game. You beat me. It's fine.
So what we're saying is he's not the instigator. He's a retaliator, or is he
He's,
the
well,
instigator?
he's subtle.
So the reason that I never talk trash to Josiah is because Josiah is like the ultimate trash talker.
Okay.
He's the best person at like getting under somebody's skin.
I try my
Lay it
best.
down.
So
Lay it
I
down.
just don't poke that bear because I don't want to.
I go for your biggest insecurity. He knows he's bald, but I got to find something that will really hurt him.
I
Be
ended
bald
my,
and proud, man. Be bald and proud. There's
I
nothing
am.
wrong with being
Listen,
bald.
I've been living this since 22.
I mean, if you guys are old enough to know who George Jefferson is, if I let my hair grow, that's the way my hair looks. I got that big bald spot right up in the middle. No, we're going to go ahead and keep this thing bald. I'll keep the hair on my face.
I ended my sports betting career after Iowa State spanked us, and this past football season.
You didn't see that coming? I picked that one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was so disappointed, so just devastated.
I'm just checked out on WV Sports. Unless it's baseball.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Baseball school.
It might be up right now.
Basketball will be back. Football is going to have a down season. There's just no way to leave.
I'm excited for the new coach, though.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot of good things. We have some ins with the athletic department, and they said he's trying to change the culture up. I mean, Justin, you've talked more to Doug about it or what have you, but he's trying to change the culture up and the way things work there. But you know what? If you have to go hire, well, I guess you are hiring. If you have to go get a quarterback this late in the game, you have no quarterback.
Yeah.
And without a quarterback, you aren't winning.
Yeah, I mean, I
So-
don't expect much this year, but you look at what he did for Troy.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful next few years at least.
But basketball will be back. You guys need to get your hopes back up.
Book it,
It
too.
was one season.
I'll book it with him on that. I trust Hugs.
Yeah, I mean, Huggins. Man,
I don't trust
he's
Kevin
done it too
Durant,
often.
though,
We're not going to talk about him. Let's next topic.
Bringing it back. Good culture. Mountaineer Tech.
So one thing that I should have brought up earlier and I didn't.
Uh-oh.
How do potential clients get in touch with you guys?
Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
That's a good question. You can, first of all, check out our website. You can go to mountaineertech.com, or alternatively, you can go to morgantowntech.com. It's going to take you to the same place. We've got some contact forms on there. It's got all our information, our office location, office hours, phone numbers, everything like that. You can call us at 304-263-6999, or you can send us an email to Booker at Mountaineer Tech, Justin at Mountaineer Tech, or Andrew at mountaineertech.com.
Cool.
There's plenty of ways to find us. People seem to keep doing it, so
Facebook's a
they
big
must
one,
be doing
yeah.
something
Facebook
right
as well.
Facebook has been a blessing. Like, you guys have to understand. We can take a little sidebar here for a second. I did not have Facebook until I started this business. Like, I hated Facebook.
I still
Didn't even want to get on it. And I was told if you're going to run a business in today's day and age, you have to have Facebook. Facebook has helped us land some of our biggest things, some of our best associations, just from some of the stuff we do. And, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the community stuff we do. Every Christmas, we do a computer giveaway in accordance with, we get other companies to come in and help us with us. They normally pledge anywhere from $125 to $250, and we buy computers. And this will be coming up here again in early December. And one of the way we do is a little bit different than most. It's not like raffling off computers. We have people write essays, not about why they should get their computer for themselves, but why somebody they know deserves this computer. And so they're writing in about somebody else. So that stuff it's a bunch of tear-jerking type stuff. And when we give those computers away, the looks on people's faces and the tears and stuff makes it all the worthwhile. We were able to give away, 10 last year? We gave away 10 computers last year with a bunch of other companies helping us. I want to do even more this year. That sort of community outreach is something we enjoy doing. We did a giveaway at his old elementary and middle school where they did an essay contest to talk about why technology helps them, and we gave away 2 computers out there. We love giving back to the community. You had asked earlier, Josiah, what are we mainly local? We have a ton of local businesses. We really, really do. But we do branch out. I mean, just like he said, we go down in the southern part of the state. We have clients down in Charleston, Winfield. We get up into the northern part of the state, Wheeling, we're in Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. But our main area, Morgantown, Fairmont, Clarksburg. You could get up in the Uniontown and the Washington, PA. I'd still consider that. That's our main home base. That's where we see the majority of our clients. And so we want to give back to a community that's letting us, you got to understand, we understand. It's a blessing that we get to do what we want to do every single day.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get to do that. Or if they get the chance to do that, they're not willing to put in the work and the effort to be able to make it work. We're certainly putting in the work and effort. But without the community giving us the opportunities to come in and help them not only in their businesses, in their homes, some of these nonprofits we're working with and such, we wouldn't be here. We would be out working normal jobs and complaining about our jobs and everything else. So that's not lost upon us. We remember that every day. So these sorts of things are little ways we can give back.
Cool. Well, guys, is there anything else that you want to touch on? Anything that you think we missed?
No, I appreciate the fact that you guys let us come down here and talk. Like I said, I listened a couple times or what have you. This is a good platform for us to talk about ourselves. Heck, it might even be a kickoff for us to get one of these done on our own. Do one of these type deals for ourselves.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
guys got some competition.
Do a tech podcast. I don't think there's any locally based technology podcasts.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I
just
don't
from the
think there
research,
are.
I know Justin had looked. I've done some looking as well. There's not really. So, I mean, or we might just have a really good sports podcast.
I mean,
to
I
say
would
the
get
hell.
so sidetracked.
Yeah.
So sidetracked.
We're here today to talk about technology, but Game of Thrones last night.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll make a podcast about season 8 of Game of Thrones.
That would be a short podcast where everybody talks.
No.
And it's
Yeah,
just
I
I
have
can
to be
fill it up.
explicit. I can't go any longer without swearing about that.
no. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Want to add anything?
Yeah, we just want to thank you guys for having us on, and really appreciate. I knew Michael from working with him at GameStop and stuff like that, so that's how I was introduced into 13 Palm Tree Studios. So just appreciate you guys having us on. Thanks to these guys for joining me. I kind of just like, hey, we're going on this podcast.
Well, you knew if they got me started, if you all got me started talking, I don't stop. So I've actually done pretty well here. I didn't just babble on for days.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on.
Absolutely.
for your
Thank
time.
you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
'Cause this is our home. This is right where we belong. Be proud of the places that we are.
How was that?
You had your headphones on backwards the whole time.
I
couldn't
We
unknow.
have to redo it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is gonna bug me. We got to.